Hey guys, and welcome back to another deck guide. Today talking about probably the best control deck in the format. Easy to learn but hard to master. I'm talking about Crest Haven. Let's get into the deck list. This one is a little bit spicy with a bunch of one-offs, but first we need to cover the basics. Yep, Triple Marvin, Wilbert and Grimnir are must include. 3 permanent crest for our burn effect is a must-have. Devotee and Supplicant are 2 cheap crests which help us surviving, giving us free wards and heal per turn. Congregant is only a 2-off because we needed some space, and the search is only really useful when we need to find Marvin. Blinding Fate is an AoE clear against aggro decks and mostly sword. Maddening is just heal 10 once we have 5 crests established. Unholy is a perfect board clear so our burn cannot face, while Gilderlease is an early stabilize against aggro and also a late game burst option. Shining Disenchantment is another good control tool, either as early board clear and heal, or as late game ODK combo piece. Let's get into the spice. We play 1 Rodeo, which is another board clear option, but he also summons 3 amulets from our deck. But we only play 4 different targets, 3 one-offs and the last one 3 times, just because we can drop it early to find our quest. Let's talk about the one-offs. Tablet is a really funny one. If we can cheat it out with Rodeo, it's an extra free draw per turn without a normal downside. But it's basically letting us play Highlander, but we don't need to cheat it out. A Temple is another good store card against big single target damage sources, and yeah, those is just a good clear. It's not the worst part if we draw, like, let's say, we draw our Dose of Holiness, because we still summon 3 amulets, and you're totally fine summoning 2 amulets off of Rodeo. Yeah. And the last 2 one-offs are Himika, which is a situational quest, being able to lock down the opponent's board for a full turn, and that one is supporting getting rid of last word effects. So if your opponent has like double, triple zombie, and even our John would just clear the board, but then 3 zombies would spawn, while Himika has hands. And the last one of it is John. It's another good clear, which also transformed our weak followers into lethal threatening monsters. But that's enough from the deck list. Let's get into the replays. And here we are in the first replay playing against Abyss. So let's try to roll again for Marvin, and we actually got him, but we have a bunch of high cost cards and Blinding Fate. We see he doesn't have the Faith, so he is probably aggro, and we see the first one drop, so yeah, he is aggro. And we only have a hand of high cost cards, so that's not that good. We're in a bad spot, we don't have any playable cards here, but with top deck Supplicant, 3 mana ward, which is really a game changer here. We heal up, we have a ward that he has problems to clear. I mean, he plays Weller, which is the best clear for him at this point, but his entire board now dies to Blinding Fate, and that's what we do. Just clear the board and pass over to him. Now on his first Evo turn he strips Marvin, so he's an aggro player with Marvin, with Jerry just... you see we could often be solved with Tempo Force winning SVO2, and now we see an aggro Abyss player changing his game plan just to take out win against Haven, and I actually decided to draw my focus here and get another crest up before we go Marvin, because Marvin could have cleared here, we could have healed Marvin trade, but I like that more. And now we just drop Marvin. We can even play this value, banish and gone for 3 phase, keeping a 6/6 body on board, which we do. Now, for next turn we can probably play a Wilbert, getting another permanent crest in, and also ward. He pushes here with Davity, trying to clear Marvin, but Davity now only has 1 HP left, so we are not really forced to do anything crazy to clear. I decided to play Grimly and Davity just to get 1 more crest up, and decided to delay Wilbert for 1 more turn. He plays Screaming here, and Temple, which doesn't do anything, but Wastelanding Tumble is actually quite a cute play in the Jerry deck, because you can proc Temple without having crests. But well, he's in a bad spot. We know Evo Wilbert doesn't have a ward. We just wait for a 2 attack because I don't want the extra draw. Testimony clears my Wilbert, and he keeps on healing now with Congregant. Congregant is a really crazy card. 17, playing Supplicant to ward. And boots, and he full clears and heals back to 17. We have a pretty full and free play Congregant just to get rid of the 6/6. Still 4 planes left to play, and I decide to drop Temple and just pass. So we are now slowly getting into a position where we kind of need to close the game out, because he gets closer and closer to his win con. He only has like 30 cards remaining. So what? 4 to 5 turns that he needs to survive. The 25, so 4 more turns and we will lose. So I play Himika here, getting back up to 5 crests, playing a ward clear, pushing another 4 damage phase, and he just keeps on cycling. Knight is another really good heal card, because you can just drop all the loot cards on it and heal. And Evo also heals you, and it's a big ward. So yeah, I decide to play Unholy Vessel just to full clear the board and drop a Shining. But pass a Shining to have a way to maybe OTK next turn. And also heal myself. But he just drops a double goblet and Field Scientist, and is now at 12 cards remaining. Actually 6 cards, so we need to kill now or we lose. But we have Gilneas in hand, so Gilneas clears 2/2, allows us to play the 5 cost spell, which is lethal. I just play my lane for fun here, pop the amulet for another 4 damage, and we win. Really close, 1 more turn, and actually the Aggro player would have won with Jerry. Here we are in our next replay, playing against Forest. So, we need to identify what kind of forest we are playing again. Is it the Tempo Forest with Jerry? Is it Roach Forest, or is it Control Forest? So he plays good Fairy, which is probably Roach or Jerry. And we just drop our amulet. Fairy Tamer, so it looks more like he is actually playing. Well, Tempo Roach, it's a Tempo Roach. Devotee, we're just getting our crests up and waiting to drop Marvin on 4. Another Fairy and another Fairy. And May, so he's playing really wide, really aggressive. And in a bad spot. He gets Supplicant once more. Just as a good way to heal, and actually getting the first crest here allows us to have a 0/4, so we can't clear off his fairies. And we basically board locked him here, kind of. Now we can drop Marvin. Evo Marvin, and Marvin will clear 3 bodies just with his crest. Next turn we can extra play point into Wilbert or into Unholy Vessel, depending on what he does here. And he just plays more tempo with Cynthia, so we now know it's 100% tempo Forest. Now what's interesting, all of his followers only have 1 HP, so playing Unholy Vessel here doesn't really do that much. We can just Evo Wilbur and clear 4 out of 5 cards. 3. So we'll just do this. No reason to waste Unholy here. He just plays for further tempo plays, dropping Bale, clearing, playing Roach even, just as another clear. We had 14, so a little bit low, but we should be fine. We play Devotee, getting up to 4 crest, playing Dose of Holiness, clearing the 6-4, healing for 1, healing for another 1, and clearing the board once again. He drops Aria for a leader effect, giving Storm to all his fairies. That's actually quite scary. We need one more crest so we can meddling here. We can get one more crest with Himika. But we are only now down to 3. I do actually risky play here by super evolving Himika because I will buff all his fairies for once. And a lock for card. So he's a 4-1 fairy, but 4-1 fairy can trade, and then he just passes and his entire board. Now we drop Grimnir for our permanence. With crest, drop our Meddling, heal back to 20, and now turn Playboy 9, he drops Bane, which is really late. Either he didn't found Jerry in time for this matchup, or he just thought there was not a good time to drop him. But this is a really late Jerry, and we should be able to finish the game long before his win con comes even close. So this is a really good Unholy Verse. We just clear the board and pass. Why we pass? We want Gilly's token spam next turn. We don't need to play more Melanins. And Torrent doesn't do anything on an empty board. So yeah, I actually do a quite clever play. We just play Gilly's. We super evo her to clear 2 of his followers with her fanfare and evolve ability. Congregant now clears the 1-1 so we can torrent his last word card and position another 4. Now he knows we have sweetness, so we have at least 5 damage next turn. And he hits back up to 6. Trying to clear the board. Also clears the board, but he's at 6 HP and my leader effect plus sweetness just ends the game here. And here we are in the third replay, playing against Runecraft. The Rune is one of the harder matchups I feel that would stick, because we don't really have that much of an aggressive earlier. We just really kind of slow deck, slowly grinding down the opponent, but Rune just kills us on turn 10, and they can heal a lot with Norman. So our burn doesn't do that much, and we can have problems clearing Norman double gold boards if we don't find our 6-cost amulet. So in this match we already found our Marvin, which feels good, but we don't have any early clears and he just drops his third maybe. So our blinding here gets really good value. We take 2 phase here, but we should be able to heal us back up. We find Unholy Vessel, so we can also clear big Norman boards without a big problem. He just keeps on cycling here. And he's a 9 card, so we will overdraw 1 card, which is quite good for us, I feel. Him overdrawing, it could mean he loses stuff like Kites or Dimension Climb or Huon, it's always good. He drops his first Island Rare, which just clears our poor little Bane. So we only have 1 crest active, which is not much. We can drop Congregant here, and we'll probably just evo her for the extra crest, but I decided not to evo her because I don't want to overdraw more cards. And he drops another Aggro. So he really stops me, zero cost Monocorn, stops me from just getting more crest, because I just need to play University. I need to clear this board, because otherwise he just kills me with a random corn. It's just a template point corn would have killed me. And now he drops Norman, and he goes for this double corn in play. And we are lucky that we have a second unholy vessel, so we can even answer this board. But we still have the same problem. We are only at one quest. We are only dealing one face damage, and this is not enough. We are already at turn 8. Cycling. Here it is. Another Roman board. And we don't have an unholy vessel in hand. So, how do we clear this? We clear a bit of ways. We played Torrent just to clear one, and we decided to finally Evil Wilbert just to get a second crest in this game, and hope that Wilbert can hold the fort for a little bit. But yeah, it's just Odin. Odin swinging for 7th phase, plus 8, plus 3. It's exactly lethal. A little unfortunate that we didn't got to play more crests, but I get I did some minor mistakes. Feel free to tell me in comments what I could have done better. And for our last replay today, we are playing against Dragon. Dragon is another matchup where we could just end up losing to random stuff. Because if they get their 7 drop and start healing, we can really often just not finish the game in time and they can fanny us. We are going second here, so we can coin out the Wilbert, but I'm a little bit scared of getting rushed down, so I use my extra play point to drop Grimnir here, and he just wraps. Okay, Ramp is kind of fine. We drop our Dose of Unholiness and trade off, and he plays Mervin. Kind of sad, but now we can play Marvin, Evil Marvin, and with those clear off his entire board without even swinging with Marvin. We're in a good position. We have a 2 mana Banish in hand, and here he drops Cameo, and so he's 7-1, which just dies to another ping. So basically a free turn for us, so we just drop Shining and pass. And as long as we can get one more crest in here, we can just pop Shining for heal 4. So this fort basically is only 3 damage. Because we can drop Wilbert here, even Wilbert, and no Shining. Perfect, clears for, and heals us back to 17. But here's not an ongoing phase. He just drops Odin, banishes, and he doesn't super evil, which is interesting. We just drop another Shining, we play Grimnir, and pass. Grimnir just gets a small Willow buff, and there's another guy, this time with Storm. And here's a penalty, and he goes another 5 phase. If he would have super evolved both times, he would be at 2 HP. But he decided to not do it. We can now Decklist here, heal ourselves back to 13. But not only that, we could pop a Shining Disenchantment here. But even if he has Generous Dragon here, we only go down to 1. He banishes my Shining and creates into my Gillies. I just play Blinding Fate here, heal myself up to 16 and push more face. Now we get Snap to life, so he has permanent heal. Place on the Ramcat, which just draws from the card. And we sadly lose 2 cards overdrawing. Himika is another crest, we just want to lock spotter, but not really locking down, which is cleared because of the Grimnir crest. Gaio is a scary card, but we have double Unholy Vessel in hand, so we can clear it quite easily. Dropping down to 11, not that great. We just play Unholy here, clear. Use our Meddling, sorry, Benevolent to heal 4d4. He gets another big board, increases our entire hand by +1/+1. But 7 cost Unholy also clears board, and we pick another 4. Another Neptune, healing him back up to 6. But another pass. We just play Supplicant, getting up to 5 crest, playing Congregant to clear 5/5, playing Torrent to banish, increasing Bohemical crest by 1 turn, so we still have 5 crest next turn, and playing him for a little bit more. He just drops all his fangs out of his hand just to clear. And well, this board is not that scary. We can just clear it with Jaw or Blinding Fate and win because we have 5 crests. Then we play Jaw, clear the board, and another Marvin win. So, see you guys in the next video, and if you like this kind of content, please subscribe.